Oh, hi guys! Welcome to the Rusty Beauty's Garage and to another episode of this 1974 TR6 that we are fire restoring. Ay, what did I get into, guys? What did I get, or what did you get me into by forcing me to do this engine bay, which is taking me a week now, extra work that I didn't plan for. I should have kept you here for a live stream and check who was gonna sit here with me just watching. It was crazy. Anyways, it's all done now. It's cleaned up, it is painted, and I started putting it together now. Before we put the body back on the frame, we still have a little bit of work on the frame as well, but I figured it's gonna be easy now to assemble it. Like, we can put the master cylinders back. I just put the pedal box inside just so I can paint around these screws here. I had to remove the pedal box, so I just put it back on, and now you see every little spot is gonna bug me here for a car that is not spotless. Anyway, so I put the pedal box on. I'm gonna install the master cylinders, the windshield wiper motor and everything. I already run these wires with new grommets, installed the grill and the signal lights, etc, etc. So I'm gonna do as many things as I can to avoid doing that bent over when the body is on the frame. So I figured I should put even the harness now, because this grommet here is tricky to install, and now it's gonna be much easier without the master cylinder there. So I'm gonna put the wiring harness. I might even connect the lights here in the front, because it's hard to work here when everything is assembled. So without further ado, let's get crack-locking. So here we have this harness that was donated to me. One of the Toronto Triumph Club members, Johan. Hi Johan. He unfortunately had some health issues lately, and he had to give up all his toys. He had a beautiful TR6 and some other cars. The parts that were left over in his garage, he just gave them away, and I picked up this harness, as long as other parts too that we're gonna use in this car. So thank you so much, Johan. You see, everything goes into a good home. So it looks like it is a 74 harness. How I know is by, for example, the wiper switch, the windshield wiper switch. On the earlier cars it was just a flip switch. Here we have this, and also this is the hazard switch. It's a pull switch, so that's after 73, I believe. This is where the horn relays are. This is for the wipers, and this is for the horn relays. For the 75 and later cars, there are some extra wires here next to the horn relay. Oh, this might be actually a starter relay, but we're gonna make it work because it's free. I'm not gonna go spend $800 for a harness. But you see now what you did to me. You made me clean this engine bay, and now I can put dirty parts inside. Like, I mean, now I have to clean this harness before I put it on. I'm gonna go on the bench now and wipe with some paint thinner, and then probably wrap it a little bit. It's your fault I'm wasting all this time. That wasn't in the plan. The plan was just to make the car safe enough for the road. Now we are embellishing it also, which we didn't want to do. Alright, so I got carried away, of course, and I wrapped the whole harness from one end to the other, and it looks great. I'm using this Red Wolf tape. It's fantastic. It sticks really well. It's like a cloth tape, and it's not sticky on the outside, so I hope it's gonna remain like that, but who knows. I stepped on it multiple times already, and it's getting dirty. So I'm assuming that soon it's gonna be dirty anyways, but whatever. Also inside I put those grommets for the throttle pedal because they were totally broken. So I have new ones that for the life of me I don't know how to use. If anybody can shed some light here, how do you use these? How do you install them? I have no idea. I tried before with heat, with boiling them, nothing worked. So these, because it's for this car and I don't care much, I just machined one side on the lathe and I pushed them through, and I'm hoping that they're gonna stay. If they don't, whatever, it's not a big deal. So in the meantime I also went ahead and painted some stuff, cleaned and painted some stuff that is gonna go in the engine bay. Again, it's your fault because that wasn't in the plans. I wasn't gonna do that, but now I had to spend time doing that as well. The brake booster and everything. I'm gonna start assembling everything now in the engine bay, and I'll bring you back. Hey, look who showed up. We came for a Coke. I'm gonna turn off your fan for a second. Sorry.
My biggest fan.
Yeah, that's your biggest fan.
I'm just disappointed now that the engine bay is painted, that the valve cover is.
Shut up.
I'm gonna take that back now.
Take it back.
Yeah.
Well, so it's the weekend, so Mr. Sheftar showed up and helped me actually a lot with the engine bay to put stuff together. So look at that. We have master cylinders, we have the relays, we have the wiring harness hooked up already here. We have the windshield wiper motor installed already, and even the tags there, the plates, whatever they are called, windshield washer, fluid, bottle, container, whatever it is. And yeah, I think for now we are done with the engine. All the shaft went in, and I think we're done for now with the engine bay. And I ran out of grommets, so David said he has some for me. He's gonna give me some tomorrow or whenever I go to pick them up.
That'll be about $500.
Yeah, sure. Can I wash your dishes for $500?
Sure.
Okay, and that's where we're gonna stop for today because it's the end of the day. And next is the transmission needs to come out. I keep threatening to do that from the end of the last video, but it needs to come out. I have new clutch, new plate, new release bearing and stuff, new bushings, new pin for the shaft. So
And then we're gonna paint the frame.
yeah, David said he's gonna come and paint the frame for me. And then it's gonna be, we're gonna put them back together and start assembling the rear suspension so we can make it rolling again. Okay, another day, and today finally I'm gonna do what I kept threatening to do. I'm gonna take the transmission out and we're gonna service it quickly. We'll see if we can wash it a little bit and change some seals. So without further ado, let's get crack-a-lacking. Oh well, I decided to clean the transmission here because it's I realized it was gonna be easier than doing it on the bench and making a mess there. So nice and clean now, relatively clean. But while I was cleaning it, I would notice something here. You see this big bolt here? Anyway, bigger than the others, I mean. Well, this is where we're supposed to have a dowel, not a bolt. These bolts are 5/16 if I remember correctly, and this is a size bigger. What is it? 6/16, so 3/8, just like the starter bolts. This bolt shouldn't be here. This is where we have dowels that center the bell housing to the engine plate. So I can't find where the dowel should be on this side though. I don't think it is here, but maybe maybe it is here, because these bolts are all the correct size, and I think these are also holes that are correct size. So I don't know if that's good or bad, that bolt, how correct that is now, because they obviously they tapped the holes that are for the dowel, so there shouldn't be a problem with it, but we will see. We'll see if there's a dowel here as well. So anyway, now let's remove the slave cylinder, all the bell housing bolts, the starter motor on the other side, and pull out the transmission. I already removed these bolts and raised the engine, the rear end of the engine a little bit, and now the transmission is in the air here, so we're good to pull it out. Right, so the transmission is out on the table over there, and I'm gonna show you what I found already. But here we are. The clutch plate, I don't think it looks too bad. I think this is a new clutch plate, which means that probably the disc is new too, but we're gonna take it out and we'll see. I don't see another dowel there. Where's the other? Yeah, one of these three must be a dowel. Anyways, we will find which hole is bigger, because we need another dowel, definitely, to center the bell housing. But let me show you there. Look at this shaft. There's no pin, right? Immediately when I saw it, I thought, wow, there's no pin here, so that's the problem that I had with the clutch. But no, look at this. It's been welded. The fork has been welded to the shaft. Well, great. How are we gonna take it out now? Because I want to change the seal here. We're gonna have to cut it, and that's gonna be fun. Let's see. Release bearing. No, I have a new one. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut this shaft. Good thing I have another one, because there's no way to take this snout out without taking the shaft out. Also, I want to see the bushings here. This one actually doesn't seem bad. Sure, there is some place. So we're gonna replace these bushings as well. I bought new ones just in case. And the other thing that we're gonna replace is the seal in the back. I'm still debating about the 3 O-rings here on the shafts. I know that they leak, but it's a lot of work, and I would do it if I knew that I was gonna keep this transmission in the car. But I know that I'm gonna be changing this transmission to a overdrive transmission sooner rather than later. I have A-type overdrive there. This is a TR3 transmission though. I have another TR3 transmission here inside this box, which is in a very good shape actually, but it's a TR3, so it won't work for TR6. I mean, it's gonna work, but probably the ratios are gonna be different. Also, it doesn't have a synchro on first, so unfortunately, for the same reason, because TR3 doesn't have synchro on first, the main shaft from this transmission and from this transmission is not gonna fit into a TR6. So I'm looking for 2 main shafts for A-type, and I'm actually looking for one TR6 J-type main shaft as well, because I have a J-type in a box somewhere there that was donated to me as well by Bob Wilcox. But again, I don't have a main shaft. So anyway, I think I'm not gonna touch this for now. I'm just gonna change this seal and the seal in the front, and that's gonna be it. And while we are here, we can also take these 2 pipes out and clean up a little bit the frame here, because I know what you want me to do. You want me to paint the frame, but do I want to? I don't think so. I want this car on the road. I want to drive it, and the frame as it is not too bad. So yeah, I'm arguing with myself right now. Okay, the clutch is out, and it is a little bit worn. I mean, it could have lasted for many more kilometers, but it is halfway worn here, so we're gonna replace it, of course. I don't know what kind of a clutch it is. It's German because it says here flywheel side, but here it says in German Strungradzete. I'm sorry, my German is not good. That's one of the languages that I don't understand anything of. There are many languages that I understand kind of, but the German is far from that. So it's probably Borg and Beck because it's German. Anyway, we're not gonna keep it, we're gonna put a new one, but I'm gonna save the plate. Actually, yeah, here, there you go, Borg and Beck. The plate looks good, so one of three things can happen to the plate. The springs can become weak, and I should have shown you that, but I've seen clutches where when you undo all the 6 bolts and the plate just stays attached to the flywheel, doesn't move out. Here, this one of course pushed out and the springs are pretty solid. The other thing that could happen is right here where you see the lighter part, this is where a groove develops and becomes a nail catcher. That's where the bearing, the release bearing, pushes on the springs. But here we don't have grooves, it is just polished from the bearing, so this is good. And the third thing that we're looking at is of course the actual plate here. If it has grooves and scratches and all that, this is perfect. The flywheel is perfect, but the bushing, or the, what do they call that, the spigot, it is very, very loose. I mean, you see, in and out is normal, but side to side it shouldn't play. So we're gonna change that. We have to take the flywheel off for that though. No problem. 4 bolts. Okay, we have a new bushing here. It looks like even inside looks like it was worn. Let's go check it on the transmission. Yeah. See how much play it has? This one is solid. And here you see it's so snug that it doesn't even want to go all the way. There you go. Yeah, it needs to go a little bit more. Okay, we're gonna clean this. See, now it's stuck. We're gonna clean this up perfectly and we're gonna put some grease there and we're gonna put it on. But we have a bigger problem here. Dun dun dun. You know where we're going with that, right? I went to check the end play of the crankshaft and it needs to be between 6 and 8 thou. So this is 0 on one side and that's the other side. No, that's 0. Okay, so that's 0 and that's the other side. That's 10 thou. So we have way too big of an end play, so we're gonna have to deal with that, but you know, that's not gonna be now. I mean, we can put the car together and we're gonna have to do that from underneath. So we're still gonna continue and finish what we're doing here with the transmission and the clutch, and when we have the car together, we're gonna put it on the hoist and we're gonna drop the oil pan and we're gonna see what we can do with the thrust washers. Yep, that's a weak spot on TR6. Okay, who said this shaft is not coming up? Oh my god, look at that. I guess that's why they welded it. Okay, let's clean up everything here and check the bushings. Hey, this car has been on fire already. You don't need to set it up one more time. The name actually somebody suggested in the comments, Phoenix. She's rising from the ashes.
What about Fuego?
Fuego, yeah. That's a good
I
name.
mean, there's a Renault Fuego already,
yeah.
but that really wasn't on fire. This has been
I
on
like
fire.
Phoenix actually.
But you put like Spanish music in the last video, so it's kind of like fitting.
true.
Hey, I'm trying to concentrate here.
Okay, focus on what you're doing. All right, so it's another day. David is helping me again today. He's gonna pull out this stud that we have to cut. It used to be a bolt, now it's a stud. And he's gonna clean up all the threads on the frame. And in the meantime, I'm still working on this transmission. I got the bushings out, so I mean, I got the bushing out. I only have one. The other one is gone. And we're gonna have to take out whatever. We're gonna have to take out whatever is here and put this. So how I do it is I find the socket that is with the exact same size here and push them out with the socket. Oh my god. Looks like somebody butchered this snout because it's really hard to take this seal out from here. So looks like somebody replaced it, but in the process they broke the snout. And I think this is important here. I don't know what all this geometry here is, but I think it's important to be there. So I went and I found another one. Well, this one is cracked as well, so can't use that one. But then I went and I found another one. You see, as David says, sometimes it's worth being a parts hoarder. So this one, I don't know the condition of this seal. Of course, it's been donated to me, so I'm gonna have to take it out, and I'll show you how I take it out. I realize this is not the way for everyone because not everyone has a lathe, but I'll show you how I do it. Hate this gimbal sometimes. Like I don't realize, and it's like flipped upside down or. Okay, our chef here is making a lot of noise.
All right.
A lot of progress as well, so noisy.
All right.
He cleaned up all the holes, threaded holes, removed that stud from there, and he started also preparing the trailing arms to be put back on the car eventually at some point, which I'm hoping to be really soon, hoping by the end of the day to have the body on the frame. So he's cutting the edges of the bushings so we can press them out, even though that's really not an easy job for my little press because they don't fit there, but I think I have an idea.
Well, we could probably do them on your vise, maybe with a couple sockets.
They're so hard to take these out. We'll figure out that. In the meantime, I'm still on the transmission. So I found this other shaft. Again, good to be a hoarder, right? So I had the spare shaft with a fork. I also bought these pins for the fork, but turns out the ones on this fork were good, so I didn't need to replace them. They didn't have this flat spot. Let me see this one. Yeah, you see this, they do have a flat spot. So what you do is you drill them from the side here, you put these back in and you hammer them and basically rivet them there. But I didn't need to do that, so I'll put them in my spare parts and I'll forget about them, and the next time I need them I'm gonna go and buy new ones. Also installed, of course, the snout, replaced the release bearing on the carrier, and we installed everything back. And I put a heavy duty pin here. People go a little bit overboard and they drill holes here and they make a second pin just in case. But I think with the heavy duty ones, it's strong enough, but I guess we'll find out. So everything here in the front is ready with new bushings and everything. So now the only other thing that I want to do is take out the rear flange and replace that seal, and then we're gonna check the oil.
Uh-oh.
Hey,
Somebody's going to be in trouble.
can you leave our chef alone?
Somebody's going to be in trouble. Get down.
All right, I took out the flange and I put it on the lathe, and with a little bit of 600 sandpaper, I think, I polished it a little bit. And here is the seal, and I showed this trick recently on the channel, but I'll show it again. So I used to run a screw. I used to run a screw through the seal and hit the race of the bearing with the tip of the screw. And just push the seal out with the screw. But somebody told me this in the comments, that this is much easier, and I think it is much easier, isn't it? There you go. Oh my god, it's leaking. Okay, well, that looks like a good oil actually. That's actually pretty good oil. We will see. We're gonna pull the cover off to see what's going on inside anyway. So yeah, that's it. Now we can put the new seal, which I haven't checked actually if I have, and we're gonna push it in with this flange. Okay, the gearbox is open, and actually, where did my screwdriver go? It looks in pretty good shape. Even the oil, look at this, nice and clean oil. It's not black. We just checked all the gears and we didn't see any chips or anything. The only issue that I see is the reverse here. This whole entire gear is chewed, and somebody replaced the little one down there with a brand new one. So the reverse gear down there is brand new. This one is a little bit chewed, but nothing we can do about that. The synchros, I'm not gonna put filler gauge on them because I'm not gonna take apart this transmission to change.
Well, like you said,
Synchros.
when you drove it, it shifted well anyway. So
Yeah, it shifted well, so it was fine. And even if it needed synchros, I wouldn't take it apart right now. That's my pet. I was gonna close
good.
it.
I'll put them back in.
Put him back in. I was gonna, I wouldn't start rebuilding this transmission unless I'm installing overdrive on it, but we'll see what's gonna happen. The oil level is good as far as I can see from here. The filler is right here underneath this rib, so we don't even need to top it up. Looks like it's been taken care of when they welded the fork and all that stuff. So yeah, putting on the cover and it goes back on the car. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna change these 3 rings here, the O-rings, because they are leaking. Obviously they are leaking, but too much work. It's not worth for a non-overdrive transmission. Okay, the transmission is put back together and we're ready to put it on. For dowels, we're gonna use the same thing that they used, like a bolt. Here, like I said, one of these 3 holes was where the dowel needs to be, and look, this is pretty nice and tight. Where was this? What was this one? Was it this one? No, it was this one. Yeah, it's actually pretty accurate, these bolts, which is 3/8. So we're gonna use this as a dowel. I wouldn't do that on somebody else's car, but on my car, everything is allowed.
if it doesn't work, you can always pull it out again.
Yeah, I know who did it.
Yep.
And what we didn't show you off camera, we were able to push these out, the bushings, the old ones, on the press. It was really hard. My press is not designed for this thing, so did some fancy stuff there, which I'm not really proud of. So we didn't show you that, but to take them out, we use the press. To put them back on, we use the vise. It's not hard to do it on the vise when there's two people. If you're alone, it's really hard because you have so many things to hold. But with David's help, we were able to do it. So now we're gonna put back the transmission on, and then we're gonna be into body mounts. All right, so the transmission is on. The starter is here. The slave clutch cylinder is down there.
New oil feed line.
Yeah, David had a good call here. We installed the new oil feed line, which was a good idea because it turns out that the new one doesn't come with a fitting that spins on the line. You have to spin the entire line. So it was tricky, but it's installed now. And we put shims and rubber pads and everything everywhere where we had them before. So I went and I watched my video from when we took the body off, and there I showed for my records where we had what. And that's how it is. Here we have one shim, here we have two shims, here we have these metal ones, then we have, here we had thick ones, but I don't have thick ones. Actually, David gave me a kit, entire kit that was kind of
It was for a TR3, TR4 technically,
yeah.
but a lot of the stuff kind of matches, or we made it work.
Yeah, we made it work. So in the kit there were only two thick washers, rubber washers, so we used them here, and wherever else we needed thick washers, we just used two thin washers like this. And the rubber pads, the square ones, match perfectly here, so we have two here. The triangular ones, apparently the TR4 doesn't have triangular ones, or the TR3 doesn't. So we don't have triangular ones, and we made some of the square ones into triangular, and I'm sure here we're gonna be able to work it out somehow with the bolt. Also have the strip that we're gonna do now. For whatever reason, that's how the car was, and that's how we're gonna put it back together. We have two pads, but there we have two rubber pads sandwiching two metal shims in the middle, like metal, whatever that is, metal plates. So that's how we're gonna put it back together without asking too many questions, and hopefully everything is gonna go back to where it was. For here we have this hardware, so with this thick and a thin rubber washer sandwiching aluminum shim, so that's ready for here. And here again we have thick washers, but we don't have any more thick, so we put two thin ones, and on the other side as well. So now we're gonna glue the rubber strip here, and I think there must be as well, and then we're gonna be ready to start putting the things together. Okay, the strips are now glued in place, and I didn't mention, but we're holding the pads with the bolts upside down from underneath, you see, so they don't move as we are dropping the body on.
And they're good for alignment. You can see them come up through the floor pan, basically. So.
And once we are ready, we're gonna do them from underneath and put them from above. So grab the magic solution here, and we are ready to
Put them back together.
put them back together finally. Okay, everything went exactly where it was. So I have just one bolt there, one bolt there, one bolt here, and one bolt here. So it's pushing the floor down. We just bolted these here, but the floor I could see it was laying flat on top of the two shims, which is perfect. So we put the bolts, but nothing changed after we put the bolts. And I can see here as well underneath that the floor is right on top of the one shim, which is perfect, and on this side. So that's great, and the gaps are still good. Now we still have the braces there, so I'm gonna remove the braces now and see if anything's gonna change, but I think nothing changed. Everything is as it was before, which is great.